Why do you support Trump?
I mean, I think there's a few different reasons. I think if you look back on the election right now, I think Democrats can make an argument about the economy, illegal immigration, and things that have gone wrong in Trump's administration that I think would have been tough for anyone. But if you have a specific reason or something like a topic you're confident in debating, I'd be happy to show my stance on that.
For sure. Would you want to deport Elon Musk?
Yeah, I mean, if he falls into the same criteria as the rest of illegal immigrants, then I think you deport him along with the rest of them.
So denaturalize Elon Musk, get him out of the country, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there would be something to look into him being a citizen already, but I don't know the laws in
Well,
that.
yeah.
But
So yeah, like he came into the country undocumented. You'd be okay with denaturalizing him, and getting them out, right?
if that's the law, I don't think you can make an exception.
Okay, alrighty. Yeah, deport Elon Musk. You heard it here first, folks. MAGA wants now to deport Elon Musk. Okay, you heard it here first, folks. Okay, all right.
Like honest, like I'm just not going to argue for keeping him because I
Yeah,
know
you
that there.
shouldn't. You shouldn't get him out of the country, right? All
Yeah,
right.
so I
Okay. So,
guess I would ask you then, with like the current Democrat state and illegal immigration and housing prices, especially in bigger cities where illegal immigrants are going, if we
such
made
as,
the New York City, LA,
that has nothing to do with undocumented immigrants.
it could also have to do with more people going to those areas for more opportunity.
Yeah, that's because the people want to live in those areas. Those are the big cities that already existed as big cities.
Correct. Correct. But with housing prices, apartment rental prices, I'm all for immigration. But I think you have to look at, if we keep allowing more and more people to come into this country, how can we ever figure out the housing?
Okay, so if you're talking about housing, I don't think that immigrants coming to our country is harmful to housing at the extent of immigration that we're doing right now. Could there be a point of an extent of immigration that particularly could lead to that? Well, that's obviously possible, right? Given that it would affect short term, but in the long term, that wouldn't be true because of the fact that it would add supply. But in the short term, it could possibly be true in big cities that specifically wouldn't be able to build housing in places where people want to live to accommodate for the amount of people coming into the country. But that's the only set of circumstances in the short term in which that would be applicable. That's not typically the case. The level of immigration that we have right now is not specifically what's causing housing prices to go up. That has to do with other sorts of factors, specifically like greedy landlords, specifically in terms of trying to increase their particular profits. We can point to the fact that there are corporations that specifically buy up a bunch of different rental properties,
Yeah,
right, and decrease the
for sure.
supply. We can talk about Airbnb and how that specifically leads to a reduction in the level of supply of houses that are specifically open for people who want to live. It's the same type of thing as like renting specifically in terms of housing. There's also issues in terms of building in places where people want to live. I mean, so
Yeah,
there's plenty of things I can point to. But
I
like
100% agree, like with all that you just said. And to be honest with you, I think, like, I would consider myself a strong Republican, but I think if someone like me and someone like you sat down, we would be able to agree on a lot more than what TikTok comments, Twitter comments, Facebook comments would say. Like, 100%. What you just said is all true. I was just trying to bring a perspective of a possible scenario where immigration, legal or illegal, could result in higher housing prices. But if it was at a steady rate, an easier process, I think immigration in a legal way where people can get it done in a month or less, I mean, I think that would be a win win.
Okay. Can you name one way in which undocumented immigrants come into our country who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime harm our system overall?
Overall, no, but I think that if you're coming in, you can't just say we can't keep them all because there are people who have committed violent crimes. And
Yeah, I
once you
agree. If
have,
someone has committed a violent crime or bad crime, they should not be specifically let into our country and they should be deported. Like, for example, if someone has been held civilly liable of a woman, they should not be allowed to enter our country, right?
correct,
Okay, so but they should be allowed to be president of the United States.
you could say the same thing about Hillary Clinton.
She wasn't held civilly liable of a woman. What the are you talking about?
I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if people wanted to dig stuff up, they probably could accuse her of 20 plus.
What are you talking about, dude? Dude,
Okay,
okay, we're not
so
even talking
I
about
mean,
Hillary
I'm
Clinton
what
was 2016, bro. What are you talking
exactly?
about? Can we talk about
She was a
Kamala
pre- she was
Harris
a she was a presidential nominee.
in 2016?
Yes, I understand that.
About 10 years ago.
True. Also against Donald Trump, who is now the president. If she would have won, she would have been the president. And I mean, no one wants to talk about it, but I mean, there's been countless firsthand eyewitnesses, not eyewitnesses, I guess, but witnesses that have said things out about Hillary Clinton,
And this
Bill
is
Clinton.
comparable to Donald Trump being held civilly liable a woman in what way?
Makes neither one right. They're both wrong.
Donald Trump's been held civilly liable a woman. Hillary Clinton had some emails! Like, what, dude? What is your argument? Seriously,
Would
genuinely.
you rather be?
What?
I mean, that's a question.
This is a crazy thing for you to say. I'm sorry. That's a disgusting thing for you to say. I'm sorry. One, right? Trump has literally people off the coast of Venezuela, specifically with no evidence that they had, right, given to Congress at all. He's people himself as well. So not only is Donald Trump a woman, but he's also people.
The reference towards Venezuela, I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong because I don't have all the facts there.
Okay, so you're
But
totally indifferent on people. Okay,
I mean, if you just let me talk for 10 seconds and then you can rebuttal.
go ahead.
Whether it was his decision, the United States military, obviously Donald Trump is the head of the military, but I'm not going to say it was right to kill those people, presuming they were bringing
Well,
the United
there's
States.
no evidence that they were bringing to our country, and even if they were, right, provide specifically a reason why we would just them rather than detaining them once they got into U.S. waters. They were still in international waters, by the way. They weren't even in U.S. waters.
Yeah, I agree. And like, as someone who voted for Trump, I'm not going to stand here and defend everything that he does, because I think anyone that tries to defend every single thing of someone they voted for, I mean, you're going to get to a point where everyone isn't perfect. And I'm obviously saying Donald Trump is far from perfect, as any other president of the United States has ever been. So I'm not going to say, you know, he's never done something wrong. So I don't have all the facts there. Was it wrong? Maybe. Was
Okay.
it right? Maybe.
Saying
I
he's
don't
not
know.
perfect is such an understatement I can't even fathom. Not only has Trump specifically been held civilly liable at the moment, but he's also murdered people. So your whole point there of trying to distract specifically away from me bringing up something about Donald Trump in terms of what he's doing wrong by trying to bring up Hillary Clinton does not even justify your own point.
The only point I was trying to make is if you wanted to dig up dirt on any politician, you could successfully do
Can you
so.
give me any dirt on Kamala Harris specifically that would indicate that she was worse than someone who was held civilly liable, a woman who incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol and pardoned violent rioters who officers and called them patriots, who said he dated in 10 years?
I had an entire party and the best lawyers in the world, I'm sure they could dig something up if all they were trying to do is find something.
Wait,
And
say that again?
obviously they found a ton on Trump. Like, what I'm trying to say is the Democratic
Goodness, so
Party
much.
wanted to do everything they could not to elect Trump, which, I mean, I'm not saying that's wrong to do. You're trying to win, so you have to respect doing everything you can to win. But what Trump is accused, convicted, however you want to say it, of, I'm not going to say it didn't happen. I'm not going to say it did happen. I don't know. But, like, all I'm trying to say is if you wanted to dig up dirt on any politician and you had the best lawyers in the world, the best research team in the world, there are things on the internet you can find people to witness, find people to give testimonies on, that you can make claims on anything.
Okay, so
And I'm sure some
we're
of it's
not just
true.
making claims on anything. We're giving a civil case with a unanimous decision of 9 people on a
Okay,
jury.
sure, yes.
There's 26
And
different women that have accused Donald Trump of misconduct. If you want me to reference that, we can. Do you think that all of them are lying?
no, I don't.
Okay, so one of them at least is telling the truth. So why do you support a guy that's done that?
I support Donald Trump in the political realm, not as a person. So I'm not going to defend him as a person.
So you support him even though that's true.
I think that if you're trying to find someone to run the country everyone has their flaws, and you have to look. Not that you should look past
This isn't
moral
just
and
like an
personal.
everyone has these flaws type of moment. He
I
was held
I
civilly liable moment. He incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol and pardoned violent rioters who police officers, and he called them patriots. He said he would date it in 10 years. And yet you still didn't acknowledge that it was wrong. Listen to what I'm saying. There's no way
I
you
did
can
say it
hear
was
what I
wrong.
just said about the guy, and you just
I said it was
overlook it, and
wrong.
you're
I
like,
said
you know what?
I'm
You
I'm
know
not gonna
what?
defend him as a person
I
anymore.
could still support him even though I hear that. You know, actually, like genuinely, how do you defend that?
I said I don't defend him morally or personally. I voted for him strictly based on political view.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, your morals and your personal views aren't related to your personal moral views on politics.
Donald Trump's political view aligns closer to my political view than Kamala Harris, putting
Kamala,
personal and
how?
moral. How?
Yeah. So the aligns more with you. Okay, how so?
Dude, I literally just said politically, not morally or personally.
Okay. So how does he align more with you? The guy who tried to overturn the election.
I mean, there's a lot that's come out on January 6th. I don't think that we want to get into that. But
Yeah, actually, there was FBI on that day. Is that what you're gonna say?
no, I mean, Donald Trump stood there and asked people not to do it. There were congressmen, senators there, Democrat or Republican, I'm not sure. Probably some of both, if I had to guess, that
Yeah,
are encouraging people.
Democrats invaded the Capitol on January 6th. It wasn't Republicans.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that some of the people that did are also the same people that have been photographed at other protests that you could
Like
then
who?
put the pieces together. George Floyd protest in Minnesota.
No,
There's
who
pictures.
specifically was there?
Like, are you asking me to name protesters?
Yeah, like you're saying that someone was at both. How do you know? Unless
Pictures?
you know their name.
I don't know their name. I've seen
Okay.
pictures though.
So I'd like to see the picture. So Donald Trump pardoned violent rioters who were police officers, and he called them patriots. How is that not condoning violence?
I don't think they should have been pardoned. I disagree with that.
But how is it not condoning violence?
That probably is.
Oh, it is? So if he's condoning
Probably.
violence, then he totally wanted the violence on that day. He was okay with it.
Sure.
So then what plausible deniability do you have that he incited it if he wanted the violence on that day?
I mean, he probably did. He just lost an election, and I'm sure he's upset. I'm not going to defend him for. I mean, I don't know.
So you don't defend him politically, you don't defend him personally, you don't defend him at all other than just voting for him?
I don't think
Bro,
we literally haven't gotten into anything politically. Everything you've
that
attacked
was
me for.
Wait, I'm sorry. How was that not political?
You just said
What is political? Tell me what the is political?
economy, immigration.
Not like literally our democracy and undermining the integrity of our democratic processes and pardoning violent rioters, police officers, in trying to do so? I'm sorry. If you were to bring that up to a typical person and ask if they think that's political, what do you think they would respond with? Yes or no? Do you think if I were to say that they would think I'm saying something political? Yes or no? Unmute yourself. You have to get back into the app. I can't hear you when you're out of the app. Would they say it's political? Yes or no?
The way you said it, yes.
Okay, so clearly is political. Okay, this idea that you have that it's not political is absurd. It's wildly absurd. What the does it even mean?
I mean, the whole argument that you've brought against me has been Donald Trump. On January 6th, Donald Trump, how he's handled Venezuela and the accusations of his legal matters.
Those
We
are
haven't
all
gotten
valid points.
I'm not saying they're not.
You
Like,
only
yes,
hey you didn't bring up any arguments, but this argument, this other argument, and this other argument as well. What?
I mean, yeah, it's a fair point. All I'm saying is we've not gotten into economy. We've not gotten into immigration. I mean, kind of immigration. You
But
talked a
didn't we
lot
also
with
talk
the
about
last guy
immigration,
about.
and that's how we got into this?
I mean, you were talking about it with the last guy that was on here, and I think we briefly touched on it, but yeah. I
Okay.
think we talked about housing and how, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So we have
Anyway,
to talk about the economy and immigration in order for you to like respond. Any of the three arguments I brought up already on three
no, we don't
separate
have to talk
topics.
about all of that. You can just get someone else in here because, to be honest with you, you, yeah, you got me. That's all I'll say.
Okay. All right.
Fair play.
All right. Appreciate you coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.